long or short? Long. As tabulating is lower, this whole leg is longer. This is rotated that way. So it's maybe high in the back, low in the front. So picture what muscles are being lengthened. So, or what muscles are kind of out of whack. So go ahead and bend your right knee up. So we're going to go like this, and that's going to start pulling on the glute a little bit. As the glute attachment on the femur, we're trying to kind of take this femur up so that the glute, which attaches up at the ilium, iliac crest, and comes down here, we're trying to get that to start pulling it back this way. If we use that glute and pull it this way, we're going to try to pull that ilium into more of a posterior rotation. Okay, so now what we're going to do, if I just want to physically try to take that ilium back, I can bring this way up here, right? So if I do this, as this glute reaches the end of its available motion, and the tension in that glute is pulling, I'm basically pulling. It's almost physically torquing this thing into a posterior rotation, right? Can we see that? It was anteriorly rotated. I'm going up this way, and so that glute, if I pull that glute up this way, it's going to posteriorly rotate. Correct? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this right here, and do you remember when, if I'm doing a bicep curl, my origin is here and my insertion is there, right? And I move the insertion point towards my origin. If I do a pull-up and I go like this, the origin is here, my insertion is here, and now I'm bringing my humerus towards my forearm, right? Does that make sense? I'm flipping around. Same thing here. If she fires her glute, she's going to push her leg down that way. She's going to bring her femur down that way, and her pelvis will stay stationary. If I stabilize her femur in this position, and she pushes into me that way, and that glute fires, and I don't let the femur move, so the femur's not going to move, what is the other part of the glute attached to? Pelvis? Up by the iliac crest. So now that glute shortens, so go ahead and push into my hand. So she's firing right there, and the femur's not moving. So what's it going to pull on? Is that part of the posterior part of the pelvis is going to shorten. The glute's going to try to pull that ilium this way. Does that make sense? Think of where that glute attaches back here. If that glute fires, it will try and extend this leg. If I don't let that happen, and she fires, go ahead and push. Her muscle energy, even though that's trying to move, there's going to be tension trying to pull that ilium back that way. And it's going to try to posteriorly rotate that ilium. Does everybody understand how that muscle energy is executing that twist that we... Am I hurting?
That's a nice stretch.
Does everybody understand what we're trying to do there? Okay, we flip the origin and the insertion of that glute. So instead of being a hip extensor, I'm blocking her here, and as she fires, go ahead and push. Then we're going to try to torque that. Her muscle is trying to pull that ilium. Remember, like if I wanted to forcefully move her ilium, I could grab back here her ASIS and her iliac crest, and I go, I'm going to twist that thing posteriorly. When we do this, we're using her muscle energy, which is a little more gentle than me ripping her pelvis around, and having them try to use that muscle energy to try to encourage, I use the word encourage, trying to encourage that thing into a posterior rotation. Safe? Some therapy, what does it say this on there? Use antagonist to pull the ilium. So the other thing that we can do is, we'll do both. If we think of this ilium here and that ilium there, and we're going to try to go the other direction, we'll have them fire hip flexors on this side, hip extensors on this side. Hold this. So if she stays like this and she tries to straighten this one out and pull this one up, go ahead and pull up with this one, push down with that one. She's trying to fire hip flexors on this side, hip extensors on this side, so we're exerting force on both sides. I'll sometimes put my arm through here, and I want you to do this, okay? Push as hard as you can there, and pull up as hard as you can there, break my arm. Hard as you can. Can you do it? And you're strong, right? So now she's firing her hip extensors on this side, hip flexors on that side. We're trying to kind of torque that pelvis back, posteriorly rotate here, technically kind of anteriorly rotate there, but it's not going to rotate. This one's going to try to pull back into that situation.
The way I do that is, I do it this way, usually. So go ahead and straighten this leg out. And I'll do it this way. I'll do a isometric hip extension here. I'll have him push into me, and I'll have him pull up into my hand here. Because it's just an isometric thing. So you're just going to lift up and push down here. So you think it's just isometric.
So what she's doing, that would be for a left anterior rotation.
Okay. Some people drop this leg off the side and really torque them, that type of thing, but I just tend to find it's more of an isometric thing. They're not really pushing real hard. They don't want their back straining or anything like that. Okay.